recognized as one of the largest drug traffickers of the last 20 years.
And yet in March of 2004, authorities had never heard of him.
He wasn't even on the radar screen when this happened.
Q was a mystery to the law, but a legend on the streets.
The biggest difference between him and almost everybody else I've ever represented. When you're out there in the world, no matter what it is you're doing, no matter how much money you're making, no matter how big of a big shot you might be in, if you're a thinking person, and you're an intelligent person like him,
Good morning, Dustin.
you're always thinking, look, this is not going
How's
to
your
last
family?
forever.
He lasted longer than most. He was 35 years old by the time authorities busted what would become known as the Lewis Organization.
He was a charismatic guy. Kosan had a pretty good stranglehold on the marijuana trade in the city of Detroit. Very high volume. I think the estimates was he brought in something like 33 tons of marijuana.
The estimated net profits of the organization was 178 million. In my opinion, you can make the most profit on marijuana. If you're buying it for 500 a pound, you can sell it for 1,000 a pound. It's a huge amount of profit compared to cocaine.
By the time of his arrest, the Lewis Organization had people on the payroll.
Good.
in
School's just
California,
starting and she's in high school now, so
Ohio, and Arizona.
trying to figure all that out.
Mr. Lewis's primary objective was to be the man when it came to the narcotic trade in the city of Detroit. But he wasn't satisfied just with the city of Detroit. He wasn't willing to just settle for that 4 block by 4 block radius. He was setting up cells in other cities because he wanted more. And he was willing to do what it took to get more.
Another gang killing. Violent crime is up 30% this year.
Big city mayors overwhelmed by the murder and mayhem of the drug trade.
Kosan Lewis was violent, according to the feds, and they linked him to about a dozen homicides.
I'm telling you, they
Authorities say
do.
Q and his gang had to fight their way to the top of the hill when they started out in Detroit.
Tommy Hodges and Kosan Lewis were former partners who had a falling out.
It was like
Thank
the Wild
you.
West.
You too.
It was open season on each other. They were shooting back and forth.
They found this body in a trunk wrapped in plastic.
15 homicides over 18 months just between these two groups.
And there were 2 other individuals that were also.
Hey,
Oh, hey, Jason. Glad it was a false alarm.
what did you say to her?
Who?
Samantha, my date.
I didn't realize she was with you. Whoops.
Whoops.
Yeah, I might have mentioned that my sister's dating the guy that lives in this house.
And you should mind my business from now on.
Will do. Sorry to ruin your date.
Right.
That looks like shit right now, but thank you.
I seriously can't believe we just did that. Chris, when I was in his house, I saw where he keeps his keys. Just on a hook right inside the front door. Okay? So, next time he's outside working on his bike, I can sneak around and grab them. If you...
Control their own actions or make bad choices in their life.
At the trial, Lewis's wife and his girlfriend sat together. Neither one thought he was capable of murder.
2 girls would sit back there, the 2 ladies, look at me, dirty looks, and they were supporters of Lewis Harry.
Prosecutors presented what they believed to be a possible financial motive as well.
Diane Harry had the life insurance policy for $75,000. And he was the beneficiary. If she died, he was the beneficiary. He would have gotten that money.
Lewis Harry was tried and convicted of first-degree murder and 4 counts of attempted murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. After almost 2 decades, His girlfriend is finally convinced of
Morning.
his guilt.
Mr. Harry did a very horrendous thing. I tried to forgive him, and I can't. I still can't forgive him.
Diane, Harry's brother, went into her attic, found more cyanide. I think it was only at that time that she realized that he had been trying to kill her.
Louis Harry is now in the Arizona State Prison complex. During a recent telephone interview, he still maintains his innocence.
I'm very sorry for Julie Williams Catholic, for them to have to have gone through this. As far as the actual crime itself, I didn't commit the crime, so it's kind of hard to have remorse for something that I didn't do.
Investigators believe the evidence proves the exact opposite. The handwriting, the flawed envelopes, the eyewitness, and cyanide particles in his office all indicate that Louis Harry was prepared to do anything
Do
to
you?
end his marriage.
It is a great
even
show.
If it meant
I like
killing
watching the first
others to
48.
do it.
The medical
It would be much
examiner.
more difficult to obtain a conviction without the evidence of the matching envelopes and without the handwriting comparison.
It was like, a work of art. It started, it grew, and then it came to completion, and it was all there. There was nothing they could dispute. I don't care what defense they brought up, we defeated all of them.
Are you guys like, when you sweep, your nose gets stuffy and like you start sneezing and shit? Well, anyways, I did that the other day, but I went to my daughter's back to school night thing, and I think them fucking kids got me sick. I don't go around nobody, but I had to yesterday. And there was a baby behind me sneezing on me, and then there was freaking teenagers over there sneezing. I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting sick.
Water is
And I
life.
don't have nobody to
Without
baby
water,
me,
we
because
don't
I'm
have
a
anything.
huge ass baby when I'm sick.
Has secured funds for infrastructure, for water. These taxpayers put money back in our pockets.
Yeah, that's my
They
favorite
give it
show.
out
I've
there
already
to
watched the whole
reduce taxes
first
and
48,
secure our water supply.
and that's a lot to watch.
When you get a great haircut,
Good morning, Rick.
you know it. No one has to say a thing.
After the first 48, that's a good one too.
And they see it. When you get a fresh haircut from a place that knows exactly what you
Good
need,
morning.
people notice. It's an experience that's hard to put into words. Sometimes
Good
you don't need
morning.
any. Sport clips. Sport your look.
I need to get a
Your
different
car
pillow. My
works hard.
favorite fucking pillow is making me wake up with my neck fucking hurting real bad.
Like more power when you need it and more performance with every drive.
Rick, I haven't came across that Harley
gasoline removes up to
thing yet.
100% of performance
I
rotten
thought I
deposits
come
to rejuvenate
across it, but I
your engine's
haven't.
performance, giving your car the fuel it deserves. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus.
I like the
More
woman that
power, more
examines the
performance.
bodies, find out why they really passed. I like that shit. Good morning, Nathan. How are you? Alexa, what's the weather today?
They thought the fire would cover their crime, but one tiny clue, no bigger than a thumbtack, remained. And
I'm
it
alright.
held all the information needed to put a trio of cold-blooded killers behind bars.
Dr. G, that's my fucking favorite. My absolute favorite.
night in 1991, the Camden, Tennessee Fire Department got a call about a house fire outside of town. But by the time the firefighters arrived, the home was
It's just the
completely
eyelashes make me
engulfed
look
in
pretty this
flames.
morning.
Because it was in a rural area, they didn't even put it out. They
Just
just
the
let it burn.
eyelashes.
And they left the scene.
The homeowner was named Danny Vine. Since his truck was gone,
God damn it, there's a fucking hair on my
firefighters
phone.
assumed he wasn't in the house when the fire started.
The truck was missing and the trailer, but Della Thornton, his fiance, her car was there, keys in ignition, and basically everyone just thought she pulled up, got in the truck with him, and they left.
There was virtually nothing left of the two-bedroom frame home.
The house was fairly small, 900 square feet to 1,000 square feet max, very small. Total burnout. Nothing left but just the plate that goes around where you
Yeah,
go to Jaws
boy.
and part of the front
Hit
porch.
that shit on off.
The next day, family members went through the rubble. Tragically, Danny's brothers found bones in the debris.
The sheriff's department responded, law enforcement responded, because you find bones in a fire that definitely ratchets up that investigation.
Basically, there was nothing left. The bones were basically just powder, except the skull and the teeth.
After careful analysis, a team of forensic anthropologists from the University of Tennessee concluded that the bones were from two people. Using dental records, they were identified as Danny and his girlfriend, Della Thornton.
It just seemed like I was having a nightmare. I mean, it just seemed like it was a dream that I had, and that I would wake up. Because we live in a small town, Camden is a small rural area, things like that just don't happen.
27-year-old Danny Vine was a professional scuba diver. He bought and sold mussel shells used to make mother-of-pearl jewelry and to seed cultured pearls.
Basically, the mussel shell buyer at that time was a purely cash business. They would have to keep $5,000 or $10,000 in cash on their person at all times to buy mussel shells.
Danny, from what I understand,
Oh,
you
hell yeah.
paid a fair price. If he told you something, then that would be the truth.
When my daughter was in, I think it was like 5th grade, she wanted to go to the army too.
Was a factory worker. Their wedding date was only a few months away.
Army too.
Della, she was a sweet girl. She was soft-spoken, just kind of easygoing, pretty blonde with brown eyes. They went a good-looking couple.
Their remains were on the sofa in the living room, strongly suggesting either murder or murder-suicide.
The reason that it's important is because if your house is burning, you're not going to sit there on the couch and toss popcorn and watch it burn while you're inside. You're going to make some kind of...
Ah! Jesus fucking... Baby Kitty's too early.
Bound by something.
Investigators also found the remains of the couple's dog.
Now, the only thing in the house that was consistent with a living thing was the puppy. From the position of the puppy was found probably in the corner.
A specially trained arson dog detected an accelerant. And investigators noticed what's known as a
Look at them
cycle
paws.
near
Holy
front door.
fuck. Look at them little paws.
We refer to as a burn down, and it's where a flammable
Yo,
liquid
oh Jesus.
has been poured, and it runs in a downward direction, and that's the way that fire will burn.
She's going
Gas
fucking crazy.
chromatograph mass spectrometry of the ashes confirmed gasoline was used to start the fire.
Oh my god. Look at look at
Investigators estimated that almost 10 gallons had been poured in the home
look at
and on the bodies. The fire took more than just the lives of Danny, Della, and their dog. It also destroyed potential evidence. A forensic anthropologist
Oh my
discovered
god.
that Danny Vine and Della Thornton weren't killed by the house fire. He found remnants of a bullet in Danny's skull.
As a lead bullet enters the bone, the edges of the bullet are peeled off, and it begins to splatter. You get it splattering all over the inside of the skull, and you get these little tiny pinpoints that are dense in the X-ray.
God, she's being crazy this morning. Where's her toy at? I'm not playing with my hand.
The bullet was from a .38 caliber.
Don't offer
They also
it.
found lead fragments in Bella's skull.
The theory at that point is it's murder because it was not a suicide because there was no .38 caliber pistol found in the house. There was a .45 Danny had, but there was no .38. And so whoever shot him left the scene. And so at that point we felt sure we had him.
On a deserted road a few miles from Danny and Bella's home, investigators found Danny's pickup truck. The
Oh, you're
trailer was
being rough this morning.
empty.
Jeez.
Danny's friends gave police a possible motive for the murders. They'd seen $2,500 worth of mussel shells in Danny's trailer
You hear yours?
before his death.
To a mussel dive, that trailer full of shells is a trailer full of
We also found tracks where a vehicle backed up to the trailer to unload off of Danny's trailer onto another vehicle. And once the truck is located and the shells are missing, then our theory is that it's robbery.
Unfortunately, there were no fingerprints.
The truck had been wiped down. There were nobody's fingerprints, not even Danny Vine's.
The baby
in
kitty.
that truck.
The baby kitty.
Danny bought mussel shells from independent scuba divers, then sold them to companies that made jewelry or used them to seed cultured pearls.
So you can really say that most all the pearls of the world originate from right here on the scenic Tennessee River.
But mussel shell divers
no,
have the reputation of being very tough characters.
You have to be physically tough. You gotta be mentally tough to get down in that cold water, the dark water in the bottom of the Tennessee River and feel around with your hands in the mud and hope that you don't find something you don't need to.
You're a frisky bitch this morning, huh, baby kitty?
Spending ad dollars on leads that don't turn into revenue? That's
Unclaw
like
this.
office
Get your
furniture that's all
talons out.
fire, no function.
That.
We call that
Anyways, Siamese, do you know they're mostly blind? They're somewhat blind. Oh my god. Siamese are beautiful cats, though. Good morning, Maurice.
I grew up working
No,
in
she's gonna get me.
family's auto repair shop.
You're gonna fall.
Starting in middle school, getting yelled at for holding the flashlight wrong. Looking good now.
Shit, in middle school?
Getting my
No.
neighbors back on the road. There were weeks that what we brought in wasn't enough. I'm running for Congress because
She's
it's
not
only
wanting
getting
to let
harder
go of
for
it.
families like mine. And corrupt politicians like David Valadeo are why. They enrich themselves and their donors.
You're gonna fall
They
off.
corrupt us. It's time for a change. I'm Randy Villegas, and I approve this message.
From coast to coast, we're building something together. For the ones chasing horizons, every charge tells a story. Tell us yours. How do you charge on?
Oh,
Checking has always been just checking. Until now, introducing U.S. Bank Business Essentials. Business checking combined with card payment processing. You get no monthly maintenance fee and quick access to the money.
Ow,
order.
fuck, my
Simplify
head.
how you do business. That's the power of us.
We didn't know vaping nicotine could lead to lung scarring, stroke, or deeper depression. Until it started happening to people like you.
Girl.
For big nicotine, you're not just their customer, you're their lab rat. Don't be their lab rat.
Shell divers. Some didn't, but a lot of the ones we dealt with in this case, almost all had multiple felony convictions.
Since the motive for the murders looked like robbery, investigators contacted
Okay, I
every
need to put
company
this.
that bought shells in the 2 weeks following the crime, and
Mhm.
they got a break. One company said they were offered shells that looked suspicious.
They had lost their water weight. After several days out of the water, the mussels would open up a little bit, let all the water drain out. And the shells are sold by the pound, so they're not worth anywhere near as much once the water gets out.
And the shells were damaged, as if they had already been through a shaker, a machine that separates them according to size.
If a bunch of
You're
shells
gonna
shows
fall
up
off.
at another shell buyer's camp with chips and marks and things on it, Jim Cage is like
Yeah.
moving shake, then that is going to be an indicator that either the shells are stolen, or pretty much the shells are stolen.
Investigators learned that the person
Look
who
at them
sold
paws.
these damaged shells was the wife of a local shell diver, Gary Bruce. Gary and his two brothers,
Fuck,
Jerry
Becky.
Lee and Robert, all
So
had
furry.
prior arrests
They're so
for
furry.
numerous crimes. They often skirted the law through intimidation.
I remember during an interview with a witness in an undisclosed location, they blew up a building located behind where the
Okay,
interview was
I'm
being
done messing.
conducted, just to let the witness know.
I'm done messing,
I
Big
can
Kitty.
use it anytime I want to.
Well, one brother, J.C. Bruce, had been
Oh,
convicted
does
of
he?
rape, attempted
That's
murder,
cute.
where he had raped a young girl and strangled her. He thought she was dead. Luckily, she survived and testified.
Yeah, if she's in a frisky
He was out of
mood,
prison at
you
the
go to
time
pet her,
this
she'll bite you.
He had been pardoned by the governor a number of years
She's gotta
ago.
be in a loving mood.
When police interviewed the Bruce brothers, they denied any involvement in the murders and claimed they were elsewhere.
Pretty baby.
They all came in, and their mother, Kathleen Bruce, came in and
She's
provided
frisky
an
as
alibi.
fuck right
So
now.
They were all on her property at a shed outside
What are you
shooting
doing?
pool at a pool
Pretty
table.
baby.
For the moment at least, the case appeared to be
Fuck
a
that.
dead end.
She's fluffy. And
Police were convinced that the three Bruce brothers had something to do with
at
Danny Vine
nighttime,
and
like,
Bella Thornton's
she
murder.
sucks on a fucking blanket,
They
right?
faced a
And
sizable
it's
hurdle.
gotta be near
The
me, and
Bruce
she's gotta
brothers
fucking
claimed
touch
to
my
have an
face
alibi
while
that
she
they were
sucks on a
with their
blanket. And
mother
like,
that night.
it's weird because she knows when I'm
So
having my
police dug
nightmares,
a
my
little
PTSD
deeper,
nightmares.
and
'Cause
gradually
they always
that
fucking come back.
alibi
But
started to
it's
crack.
weird because she'll
They
scratch
interviewed
my
this
face
woman
to
who
wake
says,
me up
"No,
out of my
I was at
nightmare.
The Bruce trailer that night with Kathleen Bruce, and none of the Bruces were there.
According to a local businessman, the Bruce
Because I'll
brothers
grind
were
my
at a gas
teeth, or I'll
station
sweat,
that
or I'll
night,
fucking
just
move, or
hours
I'll wake up
before the
screaming
fire
and
at
crying.
Danny Vine's home.
Or swinging.
The Bruces
Done that
pulled
quite a
up
lot.
and took out 2 5-gallon gas containers and filled those up with gasoline.
One of the brothers told the store owner that there's gonna be a hot time in Camden tonight.
Hey, don't you do it. Don't you do it.
And
Don't do it, bloodbath.
again, we felt like that was involving the fire.
But this information
Look at your
alone
little feet.
wasn't
Oh,
enough.
that's
We
pretty.
have an alibi that wouldn't hold up, but we still couldn't put them on the scene at the time.
We've got a lot of rumor, a lot of innuendo. We've got people that are saying that they're in one place, but
Ah.
they're really someplace else.
So investigators turned to the only hard evidence
Oh.
they had: the burned
Girl,
remains
look at your
of the
toe.
victims.
Look at it. Your toes are
And
coming
here,
apart.
the forensic anthropologist
You're
provided
not-
some
oh.
useful information.
Bitch.
Burn patterns indicated that Danny Vine fell forward on the sofa after he was
I ain't
shot.
fucking with her.
This
Good
is
morning,
a
Lee.
lucky break in this investigation because it just happens that
Yeah,
where
she's
the
a
book
service cat.
was the least burned part of the body. The intensity of the fire was not as great at the front of the skull as it was on the neck.
Oh, and she's
The
gone.
lead inside the bullet had melted, but the bullet's copper jacket peeled away after hitting the bone, and it was not destroyed.
That's pretty neat.
Copper has a melting point somewhere near 2,003 Fahrenheit, whereas the lead core, which would have been the center portion of the bullet, it had a melting point somewhere near 600 degrees Fahrenheit.
On the copper jacket of the bullet were rifling characteristics that could identify the weapon that fired it.
Back.
But the Bruces denied owning a .38 caliber pistol.
All we have is a bullet, and we don't have a gun to match it back to.
But then a witness came forward who said she was at Gary Bruce's home one day when he was target shooting.
She says that at some point he stopped, took a pistol out that he had. Yeah, I think it was a revolver, about 38 revolver. And took a couple shots at a tree over there.
The woman took investigators to Gary Bruce's home and found the tree. Sure enough, investigators found a bullet hole. So they cut down the tree to look inside.
The puzzle was beginning to take form now and take shape. And we felt like that was a crucial piece of evidence in this case.
Investigators used a hammer and chisel to gain access to the bullet without damaging it. When they finally got to it, they saw that it was just as the witness described, a .38 caliber round. Both the bullet from the tree and from Danny Vine's skull were sent to ballistics expert Tommy Heflin.
And most firearms, a series of spirals that are cut or pressed into the barrel at a twist either right or left that gives the bullet its rotational spin and gives its accuracy to its target.
Even though both bullets had sustained significant damage, Heflin was able to compare the striations on both bullets and discovered that the lands and grooves lined up perfectly.
It was very high quality. It was 100% certainty it was the same gun. We never found the gun, but we could prove it was Gary Bruce's gun through the circumstantial evidence, and it was critical evidence.
Because of we were able to determine what gun it came from and who it belonged to.
Thanks to a stray bullet in a tree, the Bruce brothers were arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. But bringing the brothers to trial wouldn't be easy.
Spending ad dollars on leads that don't lead to revenue, that's like blowing budget on furniture that's all flair, no function. Instead, get the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Cut the bull spend. Advertise on LinkedIn.
Están certificados por su rendimiento, certificados para el ahorro de gasolina y para la aventura. Son vehículos usados certificados Toyota. Cada vehículo ha pasado por una inspección completa con amplias garantías y viene con asistencia en carretera 24/7. Obtén un bajo APR en un vehículo usado certificado Toyota. Lo hacemos fácil. Toyota, vayamos juntos.
In California, we're paying more for everything, including some of the highest taxes in the country. Our taxes just funded a record high state budget and an 80% increase in spending since 2019. And for what? Now the Sacramento politicians want even more to feed their spending habit. Tell your legislator, Sacramento doesn't need more of our money. You need to do better with what you have. Visit caltax.org for more tax facts.
Water is life. Without water, we don't have anything.
David Valadeo has secured funds for infrastructure for water.
These tax cuts put money back in our pockets. Let's thank David Valadeo for voting to reduce taxes and secure our water supply.
Get your back, Kitty, run!
When Carol Vine heard the Bruce brothers had been arrested for the murder of her son Danny and future daughter-in-law Della, she turned pale. That's because Della told her she'd been approached by Jerry Lee Bruce shortly before her murder.
Jerry had tried to get her to go out with him during the time that, before that, not too long before that. And she told him no, and she said, "You'll never be half the man that Danny is." And so I think
Yes, lady.
to give her.
Prosecutors say the primary motive was robbery.
Okay.
This was wintertime. Too cold for the Bruce brothers to dive for shells in the icy Tennessee waters. So they decided to steal jacket of the bullet from Nelson. This tiny fragment tied the Bruces to the murder. The brothers drove Danny's truck to a deserted location and took Danny's muscle shells worth approximately $2,500. They wiped their fingerprints off the truck, but they made a huge blunder with the shells. They either didn't know or perhaps didn't care that Danny had already put these shells through a shaker to determine their value. When Gary Bruce's wife tried to sell the shells, the buyer knew right away that the shells had been stolen.
The shell business is a multi-million-dollar business. A lot of people buy shells illegally, and sometimes they don't question where they come from. It's just, but they have to have a receipt. You have to get receipts down. And in this case, we were able to track the receipts down where the Bruces had sold these shells up in Perry, Tennessee.
As the brothers awaited trial, Gary Bruce peeled back part of the chain link fence in the prison recreation yard and escaped.
We had a lot of trouble trying to find him. We searched on horseback, we searched in the water, we had helicopters, we had agents from all kinds of departments everywhere.
For 14 months, Gary Bruce eluded police. He even made the FBI's 10 most wanted list. But thanks to an anonymous tip, he was finally apprehended 200 miles away in Nashville, Tennessee, working as a landscaper. Gary Lee, and Robert Bruce were all tried and convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder, arson, firearms violations, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. Each was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
They were doing that to get money. But it took my child, the Thornton's daughter, it took any future grandchildren we could have had.
Kathleen Bruce, the boy's 60-year-old mother, was convicted for providing her sons with a false alibi and was sentenced to 8 years in prison.
I don't think they anticipated all that they got, but the fact is that they got all they deserved.
A lot of people were very happy. It lowered the crime rate significantly in Benton County and the area.
In the end, the Bruce brothers were no match for the power of forensic science.
I think that we're very lucky in this case. And many people, when they set a house on fire, think it's going to destroy everything. But it doesn't.
There's always evidence there. And in this case, there was a lot
Come
of
on.
evidence.
The forensics in
Come on.
this case was
Get your ass out of
absolutely
that
critical, but for the ballistics, but for the forensic of cause and origin for the arson case, there would not have been much of a case.
Morning, Mr. Spicy. Oh gosh, she's gonna get me.
Spending ad dollars on more reach, not the right reach, that's like blowing budget on office snacks that dazzle, then disappoint. Find the right buyers when you target by company, job title, and more.
Ah, don't get your
Then
fucking mouth
advertise
up.
on LinkedIn.
What's the craziest thing you've done for love? Over 100 years ago, dairy farmers in Tillamook, Oregon built a boat. Not this one, this one. When it sank, they built another. All to share the dairy they loved with the world. We're farmer-owned, always have been, and we've always gone out of our way in everything we do for dairy. Because love makes you do extraordinary three things.
Water is life. Without water, we don't have anything.
The cost of living, the energy prices, gas prices, it's really affecting those of us that live in this valley.
David Valadeo has secured funds for infrastructure for water help with no tax on tips, no tax for overtime.
These tax cuts put money back in our pockets.
David doesn't forget where he's from.
He's one of us. He's very bipartisan. He can bridge the gap.
Let's thank David Valadeo for voting to reduce taxes and secure our water supply.
Thank you, David, for being our voice.
Get it again.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy-duty DNA. HDNA. It's engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD. So when the job is heavy, GMC Sierra HD reports for duty.
Go!
Get 4.9% APR plus
This is gonna get me
3500
again.
purchase cash on these select Sierra heavy-duty Denali models. Visit MotorCityGMC.com today.
Did you know an intimate pH imbalance is a common cause of odor? Wow, really? Vagisil's clinically proven pH balance wash has advanced probiotic technology to help maintain a healthy pH. Nice. For all-day freshness, pH balance wash and wipes.
For 10 years, the disappearance of a college co-ed was a mystery until
What are you
new
staring at me like
scientific
that?
testing cast a different light on a man who had been a suspect all along.
Do you really think I'm fucking attacking your brother? What are you? What the fuck?
After immigrating,
Don't get mad because I was laughing at you, Big Kitty.
Louis Melendi and his wife
What kind of cat
wanted a
does
better
that?
life for their
Stretches like
children.
that. That is just
So they
goofy.
stressed the importance of education. Their 19-year-old daughter Shannon shared those dreams and planned to pursue a legal career.
Shannon would light up a room, you know. She was just unbelievable. Her presence was felt when she came into a room.
She was, I guess, every mother, father's dream child. She was outstanding, and whenever she did,
Discord is for child's gaming.
approached everything
My daughter had
in
one.
life
No.
with gusto.
President of her class.
I don't need
at
nobody to help me grow.
Southwest High School,
I appreciate it.
Shannon graduated cum laude and was a member of the National Honor Society.
Oh, jeez, I just got a
After high
nail in my
school, she
cheek.
attended Emory
What
University in
the?
Atlanta.
You really laid on it?
She knew exactly what she wanted.
Unhand
And
the toy.
she was going for it.
Her first 2 years there were uneventful until March of 1994, when she suddenly disappeared without a trace.
Basically, we had a 19-year-old college student who.
Yeah, I'm
dropped
good.
off in
I'm not
Syria.
getting on a child's fucking gaming app.
On the day Shannon
Get it, baby
vanished,
kitty.
she worked at a softball tournament to earn
I
extra
don't need
money.
help to grow. I
She kept
got my
score
own shit.
during morning games for the first time in her life. They broke for lunch. She was seen leaving the field and was never seen.
Oh,
or
Jesus.
found again.
A friend of my sister-in-law.
You're mad? Are you mad?
To tell
Huh?
him that Shannon was
Because
missing.
you're attacking this fucking toy like it's no other, okay? You don't gotta be that mean, Big Kitty.
And he said, we'll never see her again.
When the local police department learned of Shannon's disappearance, they initially thought it was a college prank.
For days and days and days, the attitude was, this is college girls gone wild. Shannon has just come back from a great spring break vacation.
No!
She's met lots of new guys and girls. She's probably just hanging out with one of them.
Shannon's college roommate found Shannon's car the next day,
Nope.
abandoned at a local gas station with the keys still inside. Police told her to drive it back to campus.
So that car was never, ever treated as evidence until many days
Hey, Roger, how are
after
you?
Shannon's disappearance. Many days in which a
Oh,
number of
little
people
dude.
were
You
in
trying
that
to play
car.
now?
Many days after a number of people drove that car.
11 days after Shannon's disappearance, school officials got a telephone call.
Male voice called Emory University on their hotline number and said that he had Shannon and that he would make demands later.
The man said, I have Shannon's ring. I have the ring that her aunt gave her. Shannon's okay. She misses her family, and hung up.
We really thought that Shannon was still alive at that point. We were hoping that we
Good
could hear
morning,
from her
Brian.
again, but we did not.
The FBI traced the call to a payphone about 20 miles away. They didn't find any fingerprints. They did, however, find a small cloth bag with Shannon's ring wrapped in masking tape.
There was hope. It was the first time that maybe we could recover Shannon.
Please bring us our daughter back. Please give her back to us. We love you, Shannon.
Shannon Melendi has been missing since March
The
26th.
Emory University student was last seen
No,
Saturday
lost
and
my
friends can only
hair.
hope someone saw
The
her.
Melendi family had posted a 10,000.
Come on, honey, wake up.
Posters of Shannon's picture.
I just hope that everything's gonna be okay. And with the people that took her for guilty, we just leave her alone.
Police interviewed everyone at the softball field where Shannon was last seen. The club manager said Shannon worked as a scorekeeper for an early softball game. The picture of that game told police an astonishing story.
Oh, the mercy, anybody would have to pay attention to what was
Okay,
going on.
you gotta go,
Simple
bro.
song.
No.
Nothing like that has ever happened to me in a softball game before.
Chastain said that the plate
Psychiatric
umpire
code.
couldn't keep his eyes off of Shannon Melendi.
I mean, in the middle of a pitch, he would physically turn around and go back and start talking to this dude. And here I am in the middle of a pitch, and he had the nerve to turn around and look and go, ball. I said, how do you know? You wasn't even looking. You know, that made him bad because I started walking first.
The plate umpire was 33-year-old Butch Hinton, a mechanic at Delta Airlines.
He was a charismatic guy. He taught Sunday school to kids. He was very active in his church. He played sports, umpired, obviously.
When questioned by police, Hinton admitted speaking to Shannon that day, but said he didn't see her after the game. He said he went directly home and made several telephone calls to friends. A check of his phone records confirmed his alibi.
We knew from telephone records and from speaking with other people that Butch had made telephone calls from his home.
Police also got a search
Don't,
warrant
I'm
for
fixing
Hinton's
this down.
but found nothing. And the trail of Shannon's
Oh
kidnapper
god, she's
went
going
cold.
crazy over a bead.
It was frustrating for the police and especially the family.
Seems like a lifetime.
Jaden!
I remember things as before Shannon and after Shannon. It's like two different people. I'm not the man I used to be.
6 months after Shannon disappeared, police returned to Butch Hinton's home, this time to investigate a fire that started upstairs in one of the bedrooms.
You know, when you look at how the fire started, it was clearly hard to say just pour on the floor and whatnot.
While investigating this fire, police learned something else. A neighbor told police that Hinton set a bonfire in his backyard 6 months earlier, the same night that Shannon disappeared.
And they described it as very eerie. They said it's
So investigators searched Hinton's home again. This time, they used a backhoe to excavate the fire pit in his backyard. And they discovered something odd. Nearly a dozen women's sweaters, all petite sizes.
I knew his wife. I actually went to high school with her. And the clothing that I was finding in the fire pit was not her size. It didn't belong to anybody that lived here.
The Melendi family did not recognize any of the sweaters as Shannon's.
That is not the norm that somebody
Morning, y'all.
would bury women's clothing in their backyard, particularly when the clothing didn't belong to their wife.
Yeah, it's a psychiatric code. You can Google it too. Real simple.
I grew up working right here, my family's auto repair shop. Starting in middle school, getting yelled at for holding the flashlight wrong. Looking good now. Getting our neighbors back on the road. There were weeks that what we brought in wasn't enough. I'm running for Congress because it's only getting harder for families like mine. And career politicians like David Valadeo are why. They enrich themselves.
There you go, get my in the shower.
It's time for a change. I'm Randy Villegas, and I approve this message.
Water is life. Without water, we don't have anything.
David Valadeo has secured
Hey, Kitty, do you got the
funds
beat,
for
honey?
Infrastructure for water.
These tax
On
cuts
it.
put money back in our pockets. Let's thank David Valadeo for voting to reduce taxes and secure
Are you
our water
okay?
supply.
What are you doing? Hey, Kitty. Are you just smelling? What are you doing? What are you doing, pretty baby? You okay? Huh? Okay, pretty baby. Okay, baby kitty, baby kitty. Why are you flicking your tail? What are you upset about? Huh? But Kitty, why are you flicking your toe, honey? What are you flicking your toe for, baby? I think she's a little pissy. Huh? You want some yum yum? You want some yum yums? You want my babies? You want some yum yum? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You want some yum yum? Come on. Come on. Come on.
Federal authorities digging up your yard, your property.
Hinton denied any knowledge of these sweaters. He thought they might have been left there by the previous owner. Police didn't buy it.
Makes you wonder, who else is there? Who are we missing? How many other victims do we not know about?
The FBI's Forensic Science Unit in Washington, D.C. didn't find blood or any other forensic evidence on the sweaters. Also, in the fire pit, police found wire ties, cleaning products, and plastic pants like the ones used by crime scene investigators. In Hinton's garage, they found 9 rolls of tape, but none of this pointed to murder.
I was in touch with Clint Van Zandt, who was an FBI profiler. And
You
him and
wanna
I
what,
got very
Graham?
close, and he told me a lot of things that I wouldn't tell my family. And he assured me that Shannon was murdered by Bruce Hinton very early. And I kept that to myself for a long time.
Butch Hinton did go on trial for the arson, fire, and mail fraud for sending a false claim to his insurance company. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison. And during that time, no one heard from either Shannon Melendi or
I'm alright. I need to get my ass in the shower.
For almost a decade, no one knew what happened to Shannon Melendi. Her parents continued to search for answers, and they heard plenty of theories, but no hard proof.
It is life-changing. It takes a big toll on everyone. It takes a toll on your marriage. It takes a toll with your children, friends, family. We lost a ton of friends because we had people point blank tell us that they just didn't want to hear about Shannon anymore because they wanted to hear about happy things.
Since the prime suspect was already in prison for arson, Shannon's case fell by the wayside. It was never closed, Over time, there were other
I
priorities.
need to take my ass to the
There were so many
gym.
different circumstances that got in the way of the case. O.J. Simpson was 3 months after. That took a lot from the FBI. There was Oklahoma. There was the Centennial Park. I mean, all of those things were bigger than Shannon's case.
Prosecutors John Petrie and Mike McDaniel reopened Shannon Melendi's case because they were convinced Butch Hinton was somehow involved.
John Petrie was like one of those movies you see that the miracle, you know, that saint comes in.
He was silent for several seconds, and then he said, I have been waiting for 10 years.
Bye, y'all.
There
I'm
was
gonna go get my ass in
additional
the
pressure
shower.
on the prosecutor since
My
Butch
hair is
Hinton was about to
greasy.
be released from prison for his arson conviction.
You see my roots?
Boxes and boxes of file folders, and I just started going through.
Yeah, my roots are coming in.
Sticky pads and notes.
What? Dolly Parton, what?
Mark things that I thought were either A, strong points